बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। अली अल्लाह मदद फरमा, अल वाहिदुल कहार, अली अल्लाह मदद फरमा। तमाम साथियों को एक बार फिर या अली मदद। आज एक बार फिर हम अपने प्रीवियस वीक के सब्जेक्ट को कंटिन्यू करेंगे। अगर हमको याद हो तो हमारी बहन ने बहुत अच्छा एक क्वेश्चन पूछा था फ्री विल के बारे में कि किस तरह से दुनिया के अंदर अरवाएँ रूहें इंसान आ जाते हैं, और उस टॉपिक को लेकर पिछले वीक हमने कुछ मवाद को कवर किया था। But today we will continue on from the different side of it, inshallah, with your prayers and with your well wish. Ji.
Yari Madad. Let us start by Farman Mubarak from Maulana Hazri Imam. Please recite the Holy Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Maulana Hazri Imam on 23rd June 2018 at Paris made the following Farman. I would like to begin this Farman by underlining to you that entering into Baitul Khayal is not compulsory. Each murid decides on his or her own free will to enter into Baitul Khayal when you wish, when you are of the required age. So I presume that everyone who is here in front of me enters by their own will. I said that Baitul Khayal is not compulsory, and I assume that all of you who are here in front of me are here by your own free will. Is that correct? Yes? You are here because you wish to be here. Alright? Because it is not compulsory. In our practices, prayer is compulsory. What is not compulsory is what you commit to undertake from today. That is, to give to the practice of the faith more time, more reflection, more commitment than what is compulsory. When you come into Baitul Khayal, you enter through your own free will. It is not compulsory, but you enter because you want to enter into Baitul Khayal. Please recite the Holy Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.
As you see in this Farman, and the reason we brought this Farman up from Paris, June 23rd, this is a single Farman in which Mola repeats free will 4 times, will and wish twice, and want 1 time. This touches on the subject that we were on last week. This is a miracle that on, I think it was Monday or Tuesday, after this class, someone had asked, do we have more proofs and more arguments or more material to see where all this is written? And I was thinking, Ya Maulana, how nice would it be if there was one Farman of yours, hopefully recent Farman, that I can take and I can show that Imam never takes our free will, not in this world nor in the other world, because his habit does not change. He is merciful, and on the same day this Farman was read in Jamaat. And I was listening and I was saying, okay, one free will, Maulana, thank you. And I heard second time. Then I heard third time. Then I heard fourth time. I said, Maulana, thank you. You know? I mean, this is truly, if you ask him for something, he does grant you that wish. And this is one of the Farman that in my lifetime, I have never heard Mullah repeating Free will, want, and wish. That's 7 times in one single paragraph. Because he wanted to make sure that Jamaat understand that it is their own free will of doing whatever they are doing, good or bad, coming to Baitul Qiyam or not coming to Baitul Qiyam, coming to Jamaatana or not coming to Jamaatana. This is their free will, and there is no pressure or force on human soul. They do what they will, and we will see further down how does this cover in Quran and other places, inshallah. Ji.
Understanding of free will. Imam, being the Nur of Allah, is making sure that the Ism-e Azam is given to individuals who have chosen to take it. If this is his habit and practice to not force anyone for anything, including ibadat, then how can it be possible that we came to this world without our free will? Let us review this notion from Kalam of Ilahi, the wise Quran. Proof, Quranic reference 30 by 30, known as Fitratullah, meaning the nature of Allah, which is unchanged habit of Allah. The argument is, if we have free will here, then how can we not have free will in His presence? He gives free will as per His habit, which is unchanged.
This ayat is literally called Fitratullah, the habit of Allah. This is the name of the ayat. Just like we have the name of surahs, some of the ayats are also named, and this ayat is named Fitratullah, the habit of Allah, in which Allah, and as we will read, says His habit, His fitrat, does not change. G.
30 by 30, you have it ready?
Yeah. So set thy purpose for religion as a man by nature upright, the nature of Allah, in which He has created man. There is no altering Allah's creation. That is the right religion, but most men know not.
Subhanallah. Subhanallah. G. And we will read each ayat after each reference, and then we will come back to it and we will discuss it, and we all will have a time to talk about it later on. G.
Proof, Quranic reference 2 by 35. And we said, O Adam, dwell, you and your wife, in paradise, and eat therefrom in abundance, from whatever you will. The argument would be, if Adam had free will to do whatever and eat from wherever, being at the higher level of heavens, then we, being the Ibn Adam, also have free will.
G. The ayat is 235.
And we said, O Adam, dwell you and your wife in paradise, and eat therefrom in abundance, from wherever you will, but do not approach this tree, lest you be among the wrongdoers.
Subhanallah. Thank you. Next proof.
Proof, Quranic reference 23 by 10 to 11. Those are the inheritors who will inherit Jannat al-Firdaus. They will abide therein. Second Quranic reference for this proof is 50 by 35. They will have whatever they wish therein, and with us is more. The argument for this proof is that Jannatul Firdaus, where everything will be possible. If everything is possible due to the inheritance, then how the choice of coming down to earth again would not be possible. This is the inheritance of Allah, and Allah is Qadire Mutallaq. He does what He wills, and that will of Allah is the inheritance of moments at higher ranks.
Subhanallah. So let's pull this to ayat 23, 10, 11, and then 50 by 35.
Those are the inheritors who will inherit Al-Firdaus. They will abide there eternally.
Subhanallah. 50 by 35.
जो मीरास में फिरदौस पाएंगे और इसमें हमेशा रहेंगे। हमने इंसान को मिट्टी के सत से बनाया, फिर उसे एक महफूज जगह टपकी हुई बूंद में तब्दील किया।
जी। और
50 by 35.
They will have whatever they wish therein, and with us is more.
Subhanallah. Repeat again, Khayal, loudly.
They will have whatever they wish therein, and with us is more.
Subhanallah.
उर्दू में कम सर?
वहाँ इनके लिए वो सब कुछ होगा जो वो चाहेंगे, और हमारे पास इससे ज्यादा भी बहुत कुछ इनके लिए है।
Subhanallah.
एक मतलब और जोर से
बोले।
वहाँ इनके लिए वो सब कुछ होगा जो वो चाहेंगे, और हमारे पास इससे ज्यादा भी बहुत कुछ इनके लिए है।
सुभानअल्लाह, सुभानअल्लाह। जी।
Next proof. Proof, Quranic reference 41 by 11, the principle of willingly or unwillingly. Then he directed himself to the heavens while it was smoke and said to it, in brackets, intellect, and to the earth, in brackets, soul, come, willingly or by compulsion. They said, in brackets, Arif, soul, and his intellect, we have come willingly. Argument, if we can return back to him willingly, with his permission, then we can come back to earth willingly as well, with the permission of Allah.
So this ayat is literally called willingly or unwillingly. So someone mentions that there is the ayat willingly or unwillingly. This is the ayat they are talking about.
Proof, Quranic reference 31 by 20. Do you not see that Allah has made subject to you whatever is in the heavens and whatever is in the earth, and amply bestowed upon you His favors, apparent and unapparent? But of the people is he who disputes about Allah without knowledge or guidance, or an enlightening book. The argument for this proof is, if everything in the earth and the heavens is made for us by Allah, then how did He not grant us free will in the heavens, but only on the earth? And He fully, amply bestowed upon you His favors, apparent and unapparent. Fully meaning completely, totally. Without the free will, it cannot be fully or totally.
So I think the whole ayat is right there, so we don't need to worry about pulling it. 31:20. If you have it in Urdu, go ahead.
क्या तुम लोग नहीं देखते कि अल्लाह ने ज़मीन और आसमान की सारी चीज़ें तुम्हारे लिए मुसख्खर कर रखी हैं, और अपनी खुली और छुपी नेमतों तुम पर तमाम कर दी हैं। इस पर हाल ये है कि इंसानों में से कुछ लोग हैं जो अल्लाह के बारे में झगड़ते हैं, बगैर इसके कि इनके पास कोई इल्म हो या हिदायत या कोई रोशनी दिखाने वाली किताब।
Subhanallah.
Ayat Tazkir.
In the Arabic font.
Alam taraw anna Allaha sakhkhara lakum ma fis samawati wa ma fil ardh wa asbagha alaykum ni'amahu zahiratan wa batinah.
Subhanallah. Subhanallah. So the ayat, the name of this ayat is Ayat Tazkir. Like I said, if we have paper and pen and pencil, we should write down the names of the ayat also, because in the future, as we go forward, we may not have a number 31:20. We may just talk about ayat tazkir, and we will know what we are talking about. G.
Proof, Quranic reference 16 by 31. gardens of perpetual residence, which they will enter, beneath which rivers flow. They will have therein whatever they wish. Thus does Allah reward the righteous. Argument for this proof is, in these gardens of paradise, if they have whatever they wish, one can only have wishes when they have their free will, so they may wish. Proof 15/21. And there is not a thing but with us are in these stores all treasures thereof, and we send it not down save in appointed measures. Argument: if Allah has treasures of all things, and from His treasures He sends down the human souls, then how can He not have free will in His treasures? Is this to imply that His treasures are limited or incomplete by any means? Nauzubillah.
Subhanallah, subhanallah.
So this verse is known as Ayah Khazain, the verse of treasure, Ayah Khazain. Kamran Sahib, you have it in Urdu?
कोई चीज़ ऐसी नहीं जिसके खजाने हमारे पास न हो, और जिसको भी हम नाजिल करते हैं एक मुकर्रर मुक़दार में नाजिल करते हैं.
Subhanallah. Naeem, would you read in Arabic?
وَإِن مِّن شَيْءٍ إِلَّا عِندَنَا خَزَائِنُهُ وَمَا نُنَزِّلُهُ إِلَّا بِقَدْرٍ مَّعْلُومٍ.
Proof 55/39. Then on that day none will be asked about his sins among men or jinn. Quranic reference 16/111. On the day when every soul will come disputing for itself, and every soul will be fully compensated for what it did, and they will not be wronged. The argument for this proof is negating our learning and understanding that everyone will be questioned. Quranic reference 15/92 about their deeds. In these verses, Allah is saying there will be some or none who would not be asked about their sins, and they will be fully rewarded for what they have done, and none would be wrong. If they have fulfilled their promise, then Allah always keeps His promise, as it mentioned in 30/6. The promise of Allah, Allah does not fail His promise, but most of mankind do not know.
इस दिन किस इंसान और किस जिन से इसका गुनाह पूछने की ज़रूरत न होगी. फिर देख लिया जाएगा कि तुम दोनों गिरोह अपने रब के किन किन एहसानात का इनकार करते हो.
16/111. Naveen, if you have it in Urdu.
फिर जिन लोगों ने ईज़ाएं उठाने के बाद तर्क वतन किया, फिर जहाद किए और साबित कदम रहे, तुम्हारा परवरदिगार उनको बेशक उनके बाद बख्शने वाला, रहमत करने वाला है.
Subhanallah. So I want to read this proof again. Proof number 1, 55/39. And I need your attention over here. Then on that day, none will be asked about his sins among man or jinn. Keep that in mind because we're going to have argument in a minute. But on the second ayat, it says on that day, which is 1611, on the day when every soul will come disputing for itself, and every soul will be fully compensated for what it did, and they will not be wronged. This is one of the main proof over here, and this will be the one that we're going to have an argument in a minute. So go ahead, and who's reading the argument?
Argument number 1. These two verses are negating our learning and understanding that everyone will be questioned 15/92 about their deeds. In these verses, Allah is saying there will be some or none who would not be asked about their sins, and they will be fully rewarded for what they have done, and none would be wronged. Argument number 2. If they have fulfilled their promise, then Allah always keeps His promise, as it's mentioned in 30/6. the promise of Allah. Allah does not fail his promise, but most of mankind do not know.
जी
Khayal, you want to read that?
Free will or without free will. One can easily argue that it is said, once left this body, there is no free will, and he or she is forced to live in the Jannah which is assigned. But this document argues in favor of free will, even after leaving this body with plenty of proofs. So which statement is true? We must understand that there are levels of paradise. With one count, there are 50,000 levels, and when a soul passes on to the next level, meaning from lower level to the next higher level, it is only on the first level of paradise and not on the higher ranks. Therefore, they are in jail or in limited confinement and are not yet free to do anything. From Mubarak of Sultan Muhammad Shah Salawatullahi alayhi, may our souls be sacrificed to this Imam, have said, you wish for the Jannah. Even Jannah is like a jail. Dar es Salaam, September 29, 1899. Please recite the Holy Salawat. Here it is important to understand that free will is based on the level of paradise one is in. If one is on the journey going towards the higher levels, meaning he is not yet one with Allah, then he has not earned free will, yet which was lost due to the heavy burden of sins, and one must become pure again to be one with Thee by reaching at highest level, i.e. Jannatul Firdaus.
Now, the question is, do we have free will or we are without free will? One can easily argue that it is said, once if you leave your body, there is no free will. And then he or she is forced to live in the Jannat which is assigned to him or her. But this document argues in favor of free will even after leaving this body with plenty of proofs. So now, which statement is true? We must understand that there are levels of paradise. With one count, there are 50,000 levels. And when a soul has passed on to the next level, meaning from bottom lower level to the next higher level, it is only on the first level of paradise and not on the higher ranks. Therefore, they are in jail or prison or in a limited confinement and not yet free to do anything. Farman Mubarak of Sultan Muhammad Shah, may our souls be sacrificed to this Imam. Please recite the Holy Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. He has said, you wished for the Jannat? Even Jannat is like a prison. Dar es Salaam, 29 September 1899. Here it is important to understand that free will is based on the level of paradise one is in. If one is on the journey going towards the higher level, meaning he is not yet one with Allah, then he has not earned free will, yet which was lost due to the heavy burden of sins. And one must become pure again to be one with Thee by reaching at highest level, that is Jannatul Firdaus. Quran talks about the people who have lost their free will in verse number 32/12. It says, if you could but see when the criminals are hanging their heads before their Lord, saying, our Lord, we have seen and heard, so return us, we will work righteousness. Indeed, we are certain. Quran also talks about the people who have not forgotten their free will and have submitted themselves to Him in verse 32/15. Only those believe in our verses who, when they are reminded by them, fall down in prostration and exalt with praise of their Lord, and they are not arrogant. Ginans regarding having free will or not having free will. The first verse is from the Ginan Tamaku Sadhare Sodina, written by P. Sardadim, verse 9. Eji dukha ne sukh doe hazrate likhiya re piya, सो दोष किसी को ना दीजिए रे मेहरबान मेरे. Gnanic proof regarding we coming down with our own free will. We have written how, when, and where with our own free will. The Gnan is written by Sayyid Muhammad Shah, verse 6. Gnan name is Sahib ji tu more man bhave. ए जी दोष दयाल जी को क्यों कर दीजिए, कर में लिखिया सो पावे. Gnanic proof, with our own free will, we do what we like to do in this life. We have written our own book of deeds. ए जी आती आधई न थईने एम ज मांगू सामी मारा, तुझ भावे सो ही काम करावो, मुझ सिर दोषमा देजो. This Gnan is written by Pir Hassan Kabiruddin, verse 6. Ash tamari sri ho kayam asami. So this Gnanic proof talks about we using our own free will, we surrendering our own free will to Him. Then a Mu'min writes his own book of deeds as he does what he wants to do. Can free will be surrendered? Then there are mu'mineen on the higher level on this earth who surrender their free will to Allah to gain His pleasure and to be close to Him. That is Arifeen. In Surah Baqarah, verse 131, Allah talks about His chosen one, Ibrahim. When his Lord said unto him, surrender, he said, I have surrendered to the Lord of the worlds. So those who surrender themselves to Allah and surrender their free will to Him, He grants them the higher ranks, Buzrugi. Then He sends them back to the earth again and again. 36/68 reads in Quran, He whom He gives long age, we reverse him in creation. In brackets, making him go back again. Do you not see? Here, first of all, Allah is talking about the exalted Imams whom are at the highest ranks and return to earth in a new manifestation one after the another, again and again and always. Then this ayat is for the Arifeen and friends of Allah. He gives to whomever He wishes the wisdom and khair kasir. Quranic reference 2/269. Khalil, you want to continue?
36/68 reads, He whom we give long age, we reverse him in creation, making him go back. Do you not see? Here, first of all, Allah is talking about the exalted Imams whom are at the highest ranks and return to earth in a new manifestation, one after the other, again and again and always. Then this ayat is for the earthly friends of Allah. He gives to whomever He wish the wisdom and khair-e-kasir. 2/269.
Okay, I just wanted to stop here. So whenever we are reading the Quranic reference, so in this case we will say khair kasir, Quranic reference 2/269. So remember on the recording when they are listening, they may think you are saying 269 and never get their first two there. Because it's the same number, you have to say 2/269. In the uppercase, you can say that Quran reference 3668. And it's easy to read. But in this case, 2/269, because remember, there will be people who will be listening to this next week, next month. G.
Does Allah keep any power over our free will? Yes. Life, duration of life, and death are in the hands of Allah. We may wish death and or life, but to grant it or not is up to Him, as He is the Qadir Mutallaq. Do angels have free will? Here looks like the question is that, are there different ranks of human and the souls too? Human souls are three ranks: human souls with free will, human souls without the free will, meaning the angels, human souls with free will surrendered, meaning the arifin. Human souls with the free will can become angels or arifin, or can go downward and become animal. Choice and free will is ours. Shukran lillah walhamdulillah.
So, how about we start with this last argument over here, and we will go forward and see all those arguments and all those proofs. And you notice that we have given positive proof and negative proofs, meaning somewhere we are agreeing with our own arguments, and some places we are going against our own arguments, and we will see why is that. If we had said that everyone has their free will here and there, then we came back and said no, there are times that we lose our free will, and then there are times when Arifin or the Mu'mineen on the higher ranks surrender their own free will to Allah. So let's start with this one again. And you notice that we have a question and then we are fixing our own question. And the reason we do that, so we understand that sometimes what we ask is not really what we meant to ask. So, do angels have free will? Because that would be the obvious question. And we all know angels don't have their own free will. They are always in service of their Allah without any question. Without any question. So what we did, here it looks like the question is, are there different ranks of human and souls too? Because angel is one of the rank of human, and most people don't know that. So let's look at these three different levels of human. Number one, human soul with the free will, which is us garib. We have our own free will, we do good or we do bad. That's us. Human soul without the free will, and that is the angels. So when a human become an angel, he surrender or he loses his free will by saying, Ya Mullah, I'm here to serve you, and you only, without any say-so, without any of my free will. And he gets a higher rank where he only serves Allah or the Imam of the time. Now, further down in some other class you can ask, are there different kind of angels? That would be a good question to ask. Number three, human soul with free will surrendered, Arifin.